Look at a calendar, and April 19th seems completely unremarkable. But strip away the paper, and you find a date that acts like a bizarre historical magnet for American violence and revolution. It starts in 1775. The first shots of the American Revolution, the famous shot heard round the world, were fired at Lexington and Concord on April 19th. Fast forward to 1993. The 51-day standoff between federal agents and the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas, ended in a massive inferno on April 19th. Exactly 2 years later, in 1995, a rental truck packed with explosives detonated outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. The blast killed 168 people. And the detail that the internet refuses to let go of? Exactly 19 of those victims were children. When human tragedies stack up on the exact same square of the calendar, carrying recurring casualty counts, the brain rebels. It stops feeling like random history and starts feeling like a coded mathematical sequence. Today, whole communities on Reddit and TikTok process these overlaps as hard evidence that we occupy a digital simulation. They point to the math. April 19th is the 109th day of the year. 109th is the 29th prime number. Subtract 19 from 29 and you get 10, which loops right back into the number 19. They stack these digits into palindromes and equations, searching for the source code. Does a string of numbers like this prove we occupy an artificial universe? Or does it point to a glitch in our own cognition? To understand why a teenager on TikTok obsesses over the number 19, we have to log off the internet entirely. We need to look at a psychological habit humans developed 5,000 years ago. Long before we had telescopes or orbital mechanics to guide us, the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia looked up at the night sky. Lacking any scientific explanation for weather or disease, they assumed the heavens were a canvas, deliberately communicating with them. The sun was blinding and constant, but the moon changed shape rapidly, night after night. Because it was visibly dynamic, ancient humans crowned the moon as the ultimate regulator of fate. The moon's physical orbit takes 27.3 days, but as Earth moves, the moon must travel 2 extra days to complete its visual cycle. To organize this timeline, they divided it into 4 7-day quadrants, birthing our modern 7-day week. A calculated celestial cycle acted as a divine barometer. To early astronomers, math was the only way to forecast the unpredictable whims of the gods. This celestial math bled into biology. Observers noticed that human gestation took roughly 280 days. That is exactly 10 28-day lunar cycles, or 40 weeks. Because 40 was biologically tied to the grueling process of creating life, it became a divine number for hardship and testing. That is why the biblical flood lasts 40 days, and why Jesus wanders the wilderness for 40 days. Early civilization tracked these divine sequences with cold, bureaucratic precision. They used clay grids like this to catalog every shift in the heavens. They even framed their legal codes as direct downloads from the sky. The rules of civilization were literally carved in stone beneath the image of a celestial god handing them down. A Babylonian priest calculating a 19-year lunar eclipse pattern and a modern internet sleuth tracking angel numbers are doing the exact same thing. They are running identical pattern recognition software today. Which brings us back to the modern world and the blood on April 19th. There is a terrifyingly rational reason for the calendar overlap. Timothy McVeigh parked his truck in Oklahoma City on April 19th deliberately. He chose the date to weaponize the anniversaries of Waco and Lexington. He wanted to manipulate the symbolism. And the 19 children killed in the blast? That is a brutal, horrific coincidence. It is an anomaly of timing and placement that the human brain desperately tries to package into a neat numerological box. Our modern obsession with finding mathematical codes in tragedy offers zero proof of the supernatural. It is a psychological coping mechanism to avoid facing the reality of senseless, random chaos. Biologically, we remain a species terrified of unpredictability. We survive by finding order in the noise. The ancient Sumerian building a ziggurat to appease a shifting moon god, and the modern theorist mapping prime numbers on a forum are participating in the exact same ritual. They are weaving isolated points of data into a grand protective design. There may be a matrix humanity is trapped inside. The simulation is the relentless, ancient pattern matching software running inside our own heads.